Welcome back, riders, to another episode in the world of Alagesia. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Sword in the Ring, a place for all sorts of lore, including Alagesia, Middle-earth, a galaxy far, far away, and Hogwarts. Today, we're going to be examining two of the most pivotal characters to the start of Eragon's journey. So, get strapped into your saddle, and let's get flying. While the subjects of today's episode don't exactly jive well together, they are crucial to the start of our journey into the world of Alagesia. Durza, the Shade, was not born in the form Arya meets. Arya, the elven princess, is not Durza's usual quarry. Together, they spur a simple farm boy to change the world. Well, let's start with Arya. She was born just before the downfall of the Riders, where her father, Evandar, was killed defending Illyria from the Forsworn. Fatherless, she grew up in Elsmira with her mother, Queen Islanzadi. When she was 30, still young for an elf, she became an ambassador for the elves to the Varden. It was with her that Weldon, one of the leaders of the Varden, traveled. During these travels, Arya's party was accosted by a group of Urgals intent on proving themselves. The following confrontation saw Arya take a life for the first time. She was troubled by this for some time afterwards, until she realized she only had two choices: allow it to consume her, or stop dwelling on it. She utilized some forms of meditation to move on. Over her time as ambassador, she became custodian of Saphira's egg. It was her travels across the continent with the egg that eventually caused a rift in her relationship with her mother. Instead, she threw herself into her work. She was a well-known figure in both the Elven and Dwarven realms as she worked with the Varden. However, this did not lead to much of a change in her personality or customs. Before we continue with Arya's story, let's take a look at Durza's history. Born as a nomad named Karsib, years before the fall of Galbatorix, the young boy lost his tribe when his father was branded an Oathbreaker, and shortly after lost his parents to a group of murderers. Thus, the boy was thrust into a harsh world alone. With little to live for, Karsib attempted to commit suicide by wandering into the desert. Fatefully, a sorcerer named Hag found him and nursed him back to health. Over time, Karsib convinced Hag to teach him to summon and control spirits. After weeks of training, a spell happened to malfunction and Hag was injured, requiring the boy to nurse his teacher back to health. However, shortly thereafter, Hag would be attacked and killed by bandits. Infuriated at his loss and seeking vengeance for his teacher, Karsib attempted to summon spirits on his own. His lack of understanding and control led to the spirits overtaking him, and thus the Shade, Durza, was born. Years later, the Shade happened upon a familiar sight: a young man who had just lost everything when his friend and their dragons were killed by a group of Urgals. Galbatorix quickly fell under the tutelage of Durza, and the Shade passed on many dark secrets and magics. After Galbatorix completed his ascension, the Shade served as the king's right hand. Durza's reputation was well known as he committed atrocity after horror across the Empire. Through Galbatorix's reign, only Ajahad ever came close to removing the Shade's influence. Now, after almost a century of service to the Empire, Durza was sent on a mission of incredible importance. Intelligence had been received that Arya was moving the stolen dragon egg, and she only had a small company with her. Arya, for her part, was trying to move quickly and quietly as she and her companions had for the last 15 years. Unfortunately, as the trio of Arya, Fowlin, and Glenwing were returning to Aslan, word had reached Durza and he had gathered a party of Urgals to kill them and take back the dragon egg. Durza knew the party would be protected with wards, but his dark magic enchanted arrows to break through those. However, the elven horses spooked before properly ambushed, and in the ensuing melee, only Fallon and Glenwing were slain. Arya survived long enough to magically transport the egg to her friend Brahm in his new home of Carvahall. Through other means, though, the egg appeared to someone a bit younger in the midst of the spine. Arya was captured and tortured in Gilead to find the location of the egg, as well as any other secrets she might surrender. And that's where we'll leave them for now. Next time in the world of Alagesia, we will examine the different races across the world, before we jump into a section-by-section summary of the inheritance cycle. If you have any ideas on how you'd like to see that brought to life, let me know down in the comments. I'll be with you next time on The Sword and the Ring.